Hello, everyone. Uh, let's begin the workshop. My name is Daniel Admani. I am the president of Bilka International House, and I welcome all of you to the first of our numerous workshops that we have planned. The first workshop. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
We can hear you, bro.
You can hear me. Thank you. So, anyways, welcome to the first workshop we've planned. This workshop is called Work in Turkey. We've invited several speakers for you. They're all amazing Bilkin alumni. We have Daud Muzammil, Zeeshan Kapadia, and Suzanne Hamid. They all work in three different sectors. They all graduated from three different sort of departments, and also like their experiences differ a bit because they all graduated in different years. Well, Zishan is a graduate from 2018, Suzanne is a graduate from 2019, and Daud recently graduated in 2020. And that's why we've collected these people so that it helps all of you out because everyone is good. Even I have several questions in which we're all confused about what to do after weekend. How are we going to work in Turkey? If we want to work in Turkey, what are the benefits? What are the not the benefits? So I'm not going to take much of the time. I am going to hand over the floor to the first speaker of the day, and that is Zeeshan Kapadia. Zeeshan, the floor is yours. Please, you can start whenever you want.
Thank you so much, Daniel. So, yeah, my name is Zeeshan. I graduated from the mathematics department in 2018. And yeah, much like you guys, I was also like very confused and I wasn't sure what to do when I was going to graduate. I started pretty late, but hopefully after this session, most of you guys would understand where to begin with your job search, with your career, especially if you want to work in Turkey. Right now, I'm working as a technical support engineer in Atlassian, which is a company located in O2 Technoken. It's an Australian company with one of its offices in Ankara. So to begin with, where did I search? Where did I started looking for my jobs, and where can you start? So many people are unaware of this, and it's a very basic resource that's just out there, and that's called LinkedIn. If you don't know about that, but yeah, I've seen many people unaware of it, and that's the starting point. That's where you begin looking for the jobs that you want, what kind of work that you want to do. So you begin over there. But there are also some resources that the university provides you. There's the career fair, there's the job portal for the Bilkins job portal, where some job listings over there. But in my personal experience, especially when I was looking for jobs, there's a very like limited job list over there on the Bilkin career fair and when the Bilkin job portal. So yeah, but even then, I looked for any jobs over there, and I wanted to look for jobs in English. So that minimizes the availability is a lot more. So that's one place to start. But then LinkedIn is the thing that you have to go to. Set up a good profile there, uh, list all your skill sets, all your experiences. And the first thing that shows up on your profile is your description. So that's very important. That's where you have to list down all what you have to offer in terms of what your skill sets are, what your experiences are. So that's the first thing. That's where you begin with. And one thing very important with LinkedIn is like when you are in the midst of looking for jobs, when it's the high time that you have to look for jobs, there's a feature called LinkedIn Premium, which is free for 1 month. So if you don't want to pay and you just want to make use of that feature, just find a good month like that one particular month before you graduate, like around April, May. Make good use of that, and you'll be able to expand your job search with that, apply to better places. So yeah, that's a good place to start. But when it comes to Turkey, there is sort of a limit in terms of what kind of jobs are available out there. And especially for internationals, you want to look for English speaking jobs where obviously you can communicate in English. So it sort of minimizes, limits what's out there. In my personal experience, I've seen most of the English speaking jobs being available in the IT sector. And that's where I got lucky as well. I was doing mathematics. I had no idea what I have to do next. One thing I was sure of, I didn't want to pursue a career in mathematics. So I had a few friends in computer engineering. They helped me find this company that was available that was looking for people. So I applied there and I got lucky and I got the job there. So what's the process of applying in my experience? What's the process of when you're applying to companies like that? And even if not IT companies, other companies. So what I've seen is like most of the time, what you'll see that there won't be jobs available to exactly what you want. Especially like if you're a mechanical engineer, I've seen there's a very limited jobs available in that sense. But if you're a computer engineer, there's a bigger variety of jobs out there. So instead of looking for jobs that you want, I suggest people to look for jobs that you can fit into, like you can mold yourself into depending on your skill sets and then on your experiences. And that's what I did. I was not looking for a job in the mathematics department, but I was looking for jobs that will suit me and that when my skill sets and my experience can be applied. So that's what I did. I went through LinkedIn even before I found the job that I got accepted to. I was looking at job requirements on LinkedIn that fit the area that went tricky, that uh, accepted English speakers, and yeah, I read through all the job requirements, and I saw that how can I fit myself into those job requirements, and how can I mold myself, and if there's anything missing, how can I fill those gaps to be able to apply for that job. So it's not like you can blindly apply to anything. You have to see how you fit into it, um, how your characteristics traits also fit into that job profile, and then you start applying to those jobs. And then you can see there's a variety of jobs you can look into. So yeah, the baseline of this is don't look for what you want, look for what's available out there and how you can fit into it. So yeah, the most of the jobs I saw were in the IT sector, and they started coming up uh, around 2018, 2019, the time I was graduating, because I had seniors, those who were also looking for jobs in their time when they were graduating, and there weren't many opportunities back then. So yeah, they started showing up around the time I was graduating. A lot of my fellow batchmates also found jobs at that time. So yeah, the IT sector, I'd say it is accepting a lot of internationals because I've seen a lot of IT companies being registered in the US and the market that they cater to. They have an English speaking customer base, and then they're also hiring English speaking employees. That's why you see that, okay, I have a chance there, and it makes you more confident to apply there. And that's what you should be looking for when you're applying for jobs. So yeah, with LinkedIn, I'd say when you activate LinkedIn Premium, you also get access to LinkedIn Learning, which is a good platform when you want to learn more skill sets. So when I was talking about fitting into molding yourself into a job requirement, it also comes down to small things that you're missing out on. So to fill in those gaps, you can tend towards LinkedIn Learning, and there are like very basic courses. You don't have to like fully learn them, but you have to learn enough to be able to talk about them and to be able to present yourself that, okay, I know this stuff and I can talk about it. So that's where you can take advantage of LinkedIn and LinkedIn Learning, LinkedIn Premium, and yeah, adapt yourself towards that job requirements. Um, the opportunities right now, I'd say that I've seen the opportunities are growing in Turkey, in Ankara, especially if you look into companies that are in Cyberpark, that are in O2 Technoken, there are a lot of opportunities there. Even outside that, I've seen people getting into finance sectors, getting jobs in those sectors. So yeah, there are opportunities that you can apply over there. Um, and how I think you can be productive while applying for jobs. Apart from LinkedIn Learning, what I've seen come into handy when I was applying for a job, when I was interviewing for jobs, was the other activities that I took part in when I was in Bilken. I was also part of Bilken International House during my university, and I was the vice president. And before that, I was also the PR head. So I was also able to make use of my experiences there that I had designed posters, I had managed people. So I was able to make use of those experiences and apply to the job requirements. So when the first job I got into was was as a user experience analyst for the same company, and the requirements for that job was to have a good eye for what's out there, what we're presenting to the customers, and to get into the customer's shoes. So obviously, I hadn't worked in the IT sector before. I had no idea about the IT sector, but I looked into the job requirements. It was about understanding the customer's experience. So I was able to apply my experiences that, okay, I said I had designed posters, I had a good eye for graphics. So I'm able to understand what looks good when it's presented out there. So this is something, an example of how I could mold my experiences into the job requirement. And that's basically what's required of you to do when you're applying for a job, when you're interviewing for jobs. And yeah, then taking part in BIH, attending the events, managing the people, it gives you a lot of experiences, and you can just if you started looking for jobs right now, see what's out there and see the requirements. Uh, you don't have to apply right away, but you can look at the job requirements and see, okay, what I can do right now to fit into those job requirements. Yeah, that's the basics of how you start applying, and then make use of LinkedIn, look what's out there, start applying to companies. You can directly apply to companies via LinkedIn. Or what I've found to work better for me is like I looked at companies that are available there, and then I used to visit the websites for those companies and see if they have their own portals to apply for jobs on their websites. And I thought it was better to apply via their portals in terms of getting a reply back, and in terms of putting my CV out there as much as possible. And more advice I've heard from people when applying via LinkedIn is like apply as many times as you can, like bombard them with your CVs, with your applications, because already they're receiving so many applications. So in order to stand out there, initially you have to apply as much as you can, and that's all you have to do in the beginning, in the time that you have right now in your final semester, and especially when it comes closer to the time for graduation, that's all you have to do. And yeah, also talking to people, talking to your fellow students, see where they're applying, and like yeah, that also opens you up to what other opportunities are out there. Um, Socializing with people, like attending the seminar like this also helps. But on a personal level, if you want to reach out, you can reach out to your colleagues, to us. That helps a lot in uh, expanding your search for jobs. So after you land a job, after you have an interview, you land a job, what are the regulations out there that you have to fulfill? So for internationals, I've seen that there's a criteria for companies that they have to have like around 20 to 30 Turkish employees in order to hire an international employee. So even when looking for a job, you can look that, okay, if this company is a startup, how many people it already has. That information is usually public knowledge. So you can look into that and see if that company has already hired internationals. If it has, so you know that that company has already gone through the process of hiring an international. Because also there are companies out there that are ready to hire, but they haven't gone through the process of hiring an international, and they themselves are not entirely sure what they have to go through. So once they hire you, obviously you'll have your residence permit that you get a job on, and you have to apply for your work permit, which is the responsibility of the company. And if they're not sure, it gets a bit tiresome for you going through all that process, like getting in touch with the company about that, and it may take some time. And what I've seen right now is the residence permit is only being given out for like a very short amount of time, for like 6 months or less than that. So you have a very short amount of time to look to start your job and apply for your work permit. So yeah, it's better to look for companies that have already hired internationals and already aware of the process. And even if they're not, uh, the process is available online. Uh, you can work with them. You can reach out to us and understand what the process is like and what all you have to do and what all your company has to do. Well, we can help out with that, but it's better to look for companies, like I said, who have already hired internationals. And after that, once you have your work permit, you sign your official contract, and then it's the same as what the other Turkish employees have. And then your work permit gets renewed annually, and you can continue working on that as long as you want or as long as you're part of that company. And another thing I would like to advise is like people waste a lot of time looking for the jobs that they want. So don't do that, especially if you know that there are not many jobs out there for what you want. The biggest problem that people face is that once they're graduating, they want to start earning more than start doing what they want to do, more than start building their career. So it's better to look for jobs that you can fit into, that you can start right away, rather than looking for what you want, so that you can at least establish a base, at least start earning, and then from there you can save up and go on towards jobs that you want. You have some sort of security to back you up. So yeah, a lot of people waste time there around the time that they're graduating, looking for jobs like that. So instead of that, you can right away start away with jobs that you can fit into. Another thing that Daniel asked me to shed some light on is the salary range. Though we're not allowed, legally not allowed to talk about our salaries, and I will not be doing that. Just to give you an advice on what uh, salary range to look into. I've seen, in my experience, a good salary range for a starting salary for fresh graduates to be between 4,000 to 6,000 TL. I'm sure Dawood and Suzanne will be able to shed a better highlight on that in terms of how it is right now. But when I was starting, this was the range. And yeah, this is what you should be looking for. Obviously, your employer, if you get into an interview, will be asking what salary range are you looking for. So this is a good number. Like, don't just give them a number, give them a range. And this is a good range to begin with, in my experience. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it when you are looking for jobs. And then after you're hired, uh, what's what's important, like the importance of Turkish language when you are hired. Obviously, when you're looking for jobs, there are jobs looking for Turkish people, but then again, those same jobs are not just looking for Turkish speaking people; they're looking for Turkish citizens. So that makes it difficult. But yeah, there are companies out there. There are multinational companies out there who want internationals, but who can also speak to Turkish, who can also speak Turkish because they have a customer base in Turkey. They want you to be able to we speak to them, and yeah, that's where Turkish comes is mandatory. But even if you land a job which does not require Turkish language, it I believe it is essential for you to be able to speak some amount of Turkish, because it's not just about going to the office, doing your job, and coming back. Socializing with your colleagues is very, very important. Not in terms of just communicating, but also it helps your job. It helps you learn what you're doing. Because when you get into your work, you don't know right away what all that you have to do. You have to learn from people around you, learn from their experiences. And they are only that friendly when you can communicate with them. And to be able to communicate with them, build a good social environment with your colleagues, you have to be able to speak some Turkish. So you can also do without that. There are some jobs that do not require that. Obviously, if it's an English speaking job, they will explain to you everything in English. But yeah, in my experience, if you know how to speak Turkish, it helps you build build that communication with your colleagues. Right now, you understand my time's almost up. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. There are also a lot of more things that I can go on about, but I hope Dawood and Sudan have to say in terms of that also. So I'll leave you guys to it. And yeah, if there's anything else I missed out on, I'll be happy to take questions later on in our session. So I believe Suzanne's going next. So over to you, Suzanne.